Okay, so today is a first for us. Our Pluots are finally ripe. That's up next. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you here this morning. It's July 2019. So we have a tree behind us here that you guys have seen before. This is our Flavour Grenade Pluot. Now, this is a double planted tree, and I'll link a video here where we talk about that and the importance of it. But this tree is actually here specifically to pollinate the tree next to it, which is our Pleocotum. Now, the Pleocotum got nothing on it this year. However, the Flavour Grenade Pluot is covered in Pluots. So let's talk a little bit more about the tree. So as I had mentioned, this tree is double planted. So we have this tree planted together, and that's for a specific purpose, and that's cross-pollination. So this Pleocotum specifically needs this Flavour Grenade Pluot in order to produce fruit. However, it never flowered this year. So this tree here, the Flavour Grenade Pluot, has fruit on it. You can see that here. So the nice part about having a pollinator for a tree that produces fruit is you get fruit. Now, it is a Pluot variety, so it needs a pollinator, and that's what our Santa Rosa and other Pluot varieties do. So one of the things we talked about when it comes to pollination, not only is there cross-pollination in these two, we also have cross-pollination in our other plum and Pluot varieties, which are essentially adjacent to this tree here. All of those trees, in fact, are within about 30 or so feet of this tree. So it gets cross-pollination and it gives cross-pollination. So now the tree itself. This tree has been in the ground for 2.5 years. We got this tree from Greg Peterson in his Urban Farm Fruit Tree Program. So at 2.5 years, you can see a nice, big, beautiful tree. So we pruned this tree open center, at least half of its open center, so that it actually blends in with the Pleocotum next to it. And you can see it looks like one tree. So it's got an open center. That open center helps with ripening. And as far as the size, we're probably looking at about a 9-foot tall tree, and it's at least 9 feet across. So a nice, big, wide, beautiful tree. So all that being said, let's take a look at the fruit. You can see our fruit set in here. Now, as with several varieties here on the farm, we use organza bags to cover these fruit. We did start seeing bird damage on these a few weeks ago, and because this is a green plum type variety, it actually is kind of hard to tell when it's ripe. So we started seeing bird damage, put the organza bags, and I'll leave a link to our Amazon page. We have those in that shop there. But it's doing a fantastic job of protecting these from birds. So what we need to do is we need to look at these and see if we can find a ripe one. Okay, so I've got several fruit down in here. Now we do thin this tree. In fact, we've thinned it about 50% or so. Still have a pretty heavy fruit set in throughout here, but I've got one here that I think is going to look pretty good. Let's take a look at how it looks on the tree. So you can see there, just a really beautiful green fruit. It's got a little bit of a yellowish, almost red tinge there to it. So I know it's getting close. You can see plums have this kind of powdery coating on the outside. That actually helps with protecting the fruit. But I think this one's going to be okay. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Now the fruit, so you can see the fruit size. That is a good size Pluot. I'm gonna say that's probably about the size of a billiard ball, pretty close to a billiard ball, maybe just a little bit smaller. It's got a firm texture. Now Pluots, this is a cross between a plum and an apricot. However, you can see that the plum parentage is really the dominant gene in this fruit. So a really cool looking fruit. It's green, again, kind of hard to tell when it's ripe. I know one thing with plums is you can definitely take these off the tree and they'll ripen just fine on the counter. So even if this is a little hard, it'll still ripen on that counter for you. But let's open it up and see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so we're gonna pop this fruit open. Oh, there we go. Okay, so really unique looking fruit. You can see as far as ripening, it looks like I've got a nice ripe half on that side and a little underripe on this side, but very, very juicy fruit. I mean, when I popped that just now, it squirted my hands with juice. So nice, juicy fruit. Really interesting looking flesh. Let's see what it tastes like, because in the end, isn't that all that matters? Oh wow, really good. Very juicy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you can tell this fruit, definitely not ripe. What I would do with this fruit is take it off the tree now, put it onto the counter, leave it on the counter for 2 or 3 days, maybe put it in a brown paper bag or something, just to ripen it up just a little bit more. However, it's right there. So, man, really crunchy and juicy. So, and this is kind of how I like my plums. I don't like my plums overripe where they're just kind of mushy. I'd rather have a little bit of crunch. This definitely has that crunch. And wow, I'll tell you what, just a really good mellow balance of sweet and tart. Very, very little tart actually, which is kind of surprising. I was expecting a lot of tart from this skin, especially the green skin, but the skin is very, very mellow. Unlike a lot of plum varieties where you get that strong tart, this doesn't have it. Nice mellow sweetness. I can tell I'll probably leave this on the tree for another week or two, and then go ahead and pull these and let them ripen on the counter, because man, really good mellow tasting plum. Oh man, very surprised. Okay, so a little bit of a unique variety today, the Flavor Grenade Pluot. I'll tell you what, it's a really nice, mellow tasting Pluot variety. I'll tell you what, really looking forward to the Pia Cotton, which is what it's here for. But man, isn't it great to actually get fruit production off a tree that its primary function is to help another tree? That's pretty cool. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Questions and comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Instagram and Facebook, we post content there you won't see here on the YouTube channel. And our Amazon page, I mentioned it before, I'll leave a link in the description. A free and painless way to help support the channel is to start your Amazon shopping there. It doesn't matter what you buy, as long as you start with that link, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. Okay, so today's if you have, do over, do again.